Hello people, this is Ryder here with the review of the Armor Hero Lava Armor Hero Tornado Summoning Key Set. Okay, so I'm not... Yeah, okay. So, this is obviously our third and unfortunately last summoning key set comprising of the keys of Armor Hero Tornado. And unlike the last two sets, all of these keys, for the most part, are exclusive. No, they're not. Ignore that. Obviously, we have the name of the set. We have Armor Hero Tornado. We have the keys. Tornado Armor. Wind Power. I had to look back on the lava key set. It does say Fire Power. The side, which again is nicely done. They all have lightning, when that's not even... This is not... It's an element, but not any of the ones that actually utilize the keys. Tornado Armor Hero, Wind Power, Tornado Power. And then the little show logo, the keys, oldie. Again, this is still a 2013 release. We have the keys for the Tornado Key S, Tornado Key U, it's not Quill, Eagle, Key C, and Eagle Key F. Falcon. Yeah, back just tells you everything to what to use it in and all the content that you would need for Tornado. Sorry. Alright, so here we have our keys yet again, because at this point, despite this one being the second one filmed, this is our third time looking at these. So I'm not really going to go over these too much anymore. I think you guys get the idea of how these things work and such. We will demonstrate this with the belt once again. These ones really struggle going in. Oh jeez, it got caught. So again, just loop them in, like, not loop them in, but like just slot them in like so. I'm not going to be particular about this, unfortunately, but there we have it, the Lava Summoner with the Tornado keys. So that's neat. And there goes the battery cover. I don't want to do this either, because especially if I want to preserve this one, I want to preserve the chrome. Anyways, sorry. Let's take a look at... Yeah, like, this one's not going in. Let's take a look at the keys themselves. So again, as always, these first two are the Tornado keys. So here we have the Tornado Key S1. As you can see from here, Tornado is actually pretty neat. Tornado keys are pretty circular and such. I really do like how I like how these are molded. We have the green gem, and then with the swirl that is actually different from here. Yeah. The back, like so. Twist. Like, at this point, I'm not really gonna go over the difference, especially because I don't own the original. I don't own the set version of the Tornado key, so I can't compare. And again, this is the third one. I just want to point out too that you can tell mine didn't really come in the best condition. But you can see that this is how they did the chrome plating. So that's interesting. Now for our technique, we have the Tornado key U1. So again, just like the rest, this one's a lighter shade. This one's chrome is also flaking, not flaking, but like it's rubbing off. As you can see from here, this one's a kick attack, and goes like that. Now we have our Guardian Spirit key. So in the case of Armor Hero Tornado, he has a falcon, as you can see from the top of the key, which again, it looks really cool. I really like the wings and like the head of the falcon. Again, this falls with that. So again, this one's Falcon key C1. These ones are really squeaky. And for our last one, we got Falcon key F1. We'll just do this one right away. And then this one obviously combines with his bow, which I unfortunately didn't get the name for. Like the Falcon arrow. No, it would be like the Tornado arrow or the Tornado bolt or something. But yeah, that is our poor overview of the keys. So let's take a look at them in the Lava Summoner. Let's turn it on. Okay. So unlike the latter two, we actually will be greeted with a new sound set for this set. So which will be fun. So let's, obviously this transformation process is the same as the lava keys, so just simply insert the tornado keys in like so. This one loops really weirdly. And now we are transformed into Armor Hero Tornado, which is pretty neat and such. I really do like his flutes, or like the flute sound they went with, because I forgot that obviously like lava went with like a rock-esque sound. I can't describe Tsunami, unfortunately, but as you can see here too, like obviously the colors are now green. And despite that, this is still red, just like the Tsunami keys. So, we don't need to push that. So let's use our technique key. So in the case of Tornado, he can summon little tornadoes and such. And like for example, he can teleport. He can use them as a sense of or source of teleportation, or he can just shoot them off and such. Now for the Falcon key. Apologies for this one not really showing up as well. But yeah, that one just simply summons it. And then last but not least, again, that one is a combination sound and such for the bow, because again, as I keep saying, these two are more specifically work with the weapons and such. But obviously, as I said before, in the movie, at this point, I think I can say, the the user for Tsunami obtains this belt because Cliff's user is using the Tsunami or the Tetra Summoner, so he utilizes both the Tornado and Lava armors and utilizes these keys to combine with the Guardian Spirits. And, you know, I think for anyone curious, you cannot recreate duo mode. Or duo mode obviously doesn't exist in this toy. Because if you were to, it just simply goes back and forth. Simply just does that. Oops, wrong key. But I mean, like, you know, you can still, like, you can pretend that you're utilizing duo mode. Just because it's easy just swapping out the keys. But at the same time, too, it's just because, like, canonly in the show, only these two keys exist. So, yeah. But my thoughts overall on the Tornado key set, just like the Lava key set and, like, honestly the Tsunami key set too, like, it's still pretty solid. Like, this is a nice way of, like, giving us a way to get the keys without having to buy other toys, especially because of the fact that in the case of these latter two, we do kind of need to get these sets because, again, Tornado you can't get individually without getting that specific big set for the Lava Summoner. And then, again, you can get the weapon for these two, but it's just kind of like, why would you do that when you won't even have the Tornado keys? But, I think this is where I kind of want to talk about the end result of these sets, because, this is technically, this is technically not the last set, because Armor Hero Cliff did get his keys released, but for what I can understand, his keys were, like, printed in, like, or were produced in, like, a way smaller, his keys had, like, a way smaller production run than, like, the rest of them for some reason. There's one review out there that does review, like, a legitimate version of his keys. Because at first I thought his keys were, like, I thought that person, like, made those. But taking a closer look at, like, you know, like, some other things is like, yeah, I think these are legitimate. So the reason why I'm talking about that is just because of the fact that Tornado's keys are kind of exclusive. They're not exclusive, but, like, because it's just more easier to get his keys through this set as opposed to other means. Tornado's keys are really expensive to try to track down. Because I got these, obviously, just like the rest of these, off of Superbuy via Xiaoyu. Because Taobao does not obviously have it. They did have it at the beginning half of the year, but it got sold out. So I went through the secondhand market, and the secondhand prices for this set are not that great. Because if I can recall from the beginning of the year, this set was selling for like $15 to $30, which was what I was willing to, like, get it for, because it's like, oh, it's Armor Hero Tornado. It's Armor Hero Tornado, and, like, it doesn't help that with the RX Summoning Belt 2, that obviously I think it's because of the RX summoning belt. It spiked up the prices for these keys because now everyone obviously wants to get all the functions out of that belt, so they're gonna buy up this key set. It wasn't until like the latter half of this year that like this product went through another price hike. It could be also because of tariffs, but I doubt that's the case. But this thing went from essentially this thing went like another like $20 to $40 in pricing. Because I think at best, reasonably, you're gonna find this being released for like $70, which is where I'll say that is not worth it. I can, I guess, luckily say I got mine for like $45, which is still not recommendable, especially because, as I said before, these key sets are supposed to be $10 because they're not supposed to be, they're inexpensive pieces of RFID chips with LEDs. So these are not supposed to be that inexpensive. But unfortunately, just because they've never bothered to reprint the Tornado or Cliff keys, that's why the price hikes for these are so high, because Aldi is not bothering to re-release these keys and such. Especially, I thought it was like, especially it's ridiculous for the RX summoning belt, because it's like, really? You're not gonna go through the effort of re-releasing keys that we're supposed to be using with this new release of a toy? It's, well, I mean, I think Bandai Japan does that. But like, yeah, like they do that to us too. Cuz like there's like too much examples. So again, I'm not really happy with the price that I had to get these for, but honestly, I'm at least still kind of glad with the price I got them for. I found a cheaper listing for like $36, but I was just like, I'll pay the extra just to make sure I actually did secure it and such. But unfortunately, the listing that I did get this from, they relisted it, and they have increased the price yet again to about $50. At that point, that's really up to you if you think that's worth it. Because it's like, with that price, you can get a DX belt for, or a Sentai mech, or like a roleplay weapon out of that. Not a gimmick item that should only cost under $10. So, yeah. That was my unfortunate path, especially because I actually, before then, I found a really good deal on both the Tsunami keys and the Tornado keys. Someone was selling them together for $30, which I would have overpaid for the Tsunami keys, but the Tornado keys being for $15 would have been a steal. Unfortunately, the order got withdrawn, and the like seller, I think most likely did not want to sell to Superbuy and such. Which, again, that was unfortunate because I could have gotten these for a big steal, but instead, I ended up giving in to consumerism. To which that will have to do with this review. This is Ryder, and I'll leave people. I did not elaborate enough.